Oops, let's flip this over. All right, y'all. We are here. We are live. Welcome. I'm excited to see you all here. Let me go back to my chair. Give everyone a second to join us. I'm trying this for the first time live on YouTube. Let's try this out. Move this back. Hey y'all. All right, let me know if you guys are here. You can see me. Let me know. All right, perfect. You guys can see me. A little dark. All right, perfect. All right, get up on here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, so we are talking. Oh, let me make sure I don't. We're talking about some of the things that I wish I would have known when I initially started entrepreneurship about, it's been about over 13 years ago, okay? 13 years ago. Thank you all for joining. Make sure you click subscribe as you all come over here. Press subscribe, press subscribe, press subscribe. But, you know, the first thing that I was saying is, you know, when I initially started on my journey to entrepreneurship, I was all over the place. Not only was I all over the place, but I was not consistent. And I was trying to figure out why people did not believe in me. And often, you know, when we are doing things and we're running businesses, we get frustrated when we don't feel like we have the support of other people, right? When we have the buy-in, when people are not kind of taken to our businesses. And the first thing that we say is like, oh, you know, they're hating on us, right? They don't have our best interest at heart. They don't want to see us win. We say a million different things, right? They don't want to see us thrive. They don't want to support us. And what I had to really think about is who I was and where I was in that season. And in that season of starting my businesses, one of the biggest mistakes that I made was trying to create so many different brands and businesses at one time. And I had to learn this the hard way, okay? How many of you all can honestly say that right now you are in that season of trying to build too many things at one time? You're exhausted, right? You're tired, right? You're drained. You're all over the place. And you need to pick one thing to focus on and give that thing your all until that thing builds up. And then you use the momentum from that thing to take that brand, that next brand to the next level. And when I sat here this morning in my warehouse, I was thinking about like, you know, why weren't people trusting me in that season of my life? It was a few reasons. The first one was that I was all over the place, okay? The second one was that I was not consistent on my journey. One day I was an entrepreneur, the next day I was focused on my job. The next day I was researching another hustle that could potentially make me more money. And I was in survival mode. And I say this a lot, and I want you all to know and understand this, that one of the most dangerous places that you can be in is in survival mode. Because when you are in survival mode, you will literally do whatever, right? Meaning you don't have to be passionate about it. You probably don't even have to be good at it. But you are literally just trying to survive. And I remember the seasons of trying to survive and literally just pay my bills. And I thought to myself, why were you doing some of the businesses that you were even doing to begin with? And I was doing them because I was desperate. And I did not have the patience to wait long enough for anything that I had started to actually take off. So the first thing I want to say is not focusing in on one thing. It damaged the trust of my audience back in that season of my life, right? Not taking the time to focus on one thing, it completely damaged the trust that I was attempting to build with my audience. And for many of you all, you may be doing that right now. And you don't even realize that you're doing it. You don't even realize that you're damaging the trust because you're all over the place or you're inconsistent. And every time they see you, you're showing up as a different person, doing a different thing. And people don't know. They're skeptical. They don't know if they can really receive from you. They don't know how long you're going to be around. They don't know how long you're going to do this thing because they've seen you in so many things. And they have not seen you successfully build out anything. And now you're doing something else. That's the first thing. Another thing that I really learned over the course of 10 years of entrepreneurship is the fact that if anyone tells you that it's going to happen overnight, or anyone tells you that it's going to be quick, then you probably just want to go ahead and get up and just walk out. I thought last week about all of the losses that I took in my life. And when I'm talking losses this time, I'm going to talk about financial losses that I actually took. And most of the financial losses that I took in my life in that season was because I was anxious. And someone came into my life and they told me that I would make $1 million overnight. They had an opportunity. And every opportunity is not a good opportunity for you. But because I was so anxious, I was so desperate, I would jump right into that, whatever it was. And when I look back on all of the financial losses that I experienced, they were all connected to moments when I was anxious and someone made me some crazy promise that if I got into this or I got into that it would change my life and I would be successful and I would make this amount of money. And what normally happened in almost every one of those scenarios that I can look back on was I was taken advantage of. And what I've learned because of this is that you will always be leveraged in the areas which you are not educated in. Let me say that again. People will leverage you in the areas that you are not educated in. And this may sound crazy, but every single time I was anxious to jump into a new opportunity, it was something that sounded really good, something that sounded really profitable, something that sounded extremely promising. But once I got into it, I realized that I did not have the knowledge, the skill sets, and the training to understand it fully enough for me to make money from it. So because I did not have the knowledge and the information, it was really easy for people to take advantage of me in that season. So what was the lesson? The lesson here was that I was always taken advantage of in times where I was so anxious, but did not have the knowledge in a certain thing, okay? There was one thing that I did in real estate, and I had no clear understanding of real estate investing, And I put money in it, and I lost over 6 figures, and I didn't have a clue. And it was really because I did not have the knowledge and information. So just be careful, you all, being anxious and looking for that next come up or that next big payout. Because to create true wealth and really good income, it takes knowledge and it takes time and it takes experience. So don't just rush into things and, just jump into stuff that you're not really familiar with, because you will regret it later down the line. That's the second thing I learned, okay? The third thing that I learned is that you have to take time to actually go through ups and downs in businesses to really understand what business is about. You may have seasons in your business where your business is extremely profitable, where your business is thriving in abundance, where everything is going good. But that does not mean that is always going to be the case, all right? Your business has ups and downs. Every business has ups and downs. There is this thing in business called momentum, when things are on the up and things are going great. And then you may go through a season where maybe you've gone through your warm market, right? And when I say warm market for you all who do not know what that means, is normally like close friends, family. Like when your close friends and family, they're supporting you, your business is normally booming in that season, right? But then you have to get into the season where you have to go and you have to find the other people. The people who don't know you, they don't know your story, they don't know your grandma, they don't know your auntie, they don't want to just buy whatever you're selling because they like you and they've known you since you were a kid. These are strangers. And these are the people that are going to purchase your service, purchase your products, purchase whatever it is that you're selling because of the service or the product. Not necessarily you growing up, people wanting to see you win, people that went to school with you. And the way those people make decisions are 100% different from the way the people who have known you make these decisions, okay? The product has to be good. The service has to be a good service. The value has to be there, all right? Like these are the things that we don't talk about in business. There are ups and there's downs. And you have to go through those ups and those downs in business to really learn. And the ups and the downs also include something that I do not hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about. And that is constantly being able to reinvent yourself. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last decade is that you are going to have to constantly reinvent yourself as an entrepreneur. All right? This sounds crazy, but you will. You will have to come back better every time, okay? You will have to roll out that new campaign, that new shoot, that new thing that you have going on, because that's what marketing looks like. That's what staying relevant looks like. That's what staying visible and in the eyeballs, in front of the eyeballs of people, that's what that looks like. And that's something that I really had to learn. You know, I remember when I started my first beauty line back in 2009, it looked like trash. And when I say trash, I mean complete trash. I had labels that I was just peeling off. I was printing these labels from a printer. I was sticking them on my products, and they looked like what they looked like. It wasn't a good presentation, you know? But today, my product line, Shop Her Listed on Instagram, it looks a lot different now, okay? But I had to go through the challenges. I had to go through the steps to grow the business and get it where it is. I had to reinvent myself. I had to rebrand the company. I had to come back better. And I want to stress this to you all. So many of you are in a season where you need to rebrand. You need to come back better. You need to redo your product line. You need to redo your service. You really need to redo your offer, or whatever it is that you're putting out here to the universe. It needs a makeover, okay? And it's not a bad thing. I want you all to know and understand that it is simply a part of business, okay? Another thing that I learned that I wish I would have known back then is that I could not live off of my profits from my business when I initially started my business. You know, when I was starting on this journey, I was under the impression that the money and the profit that I was making, that was going to pay my rent back then. And you all, you know, this is back, like, I've been an entrepreneur since my 20s, you know, and I thought that if I made a few sales, I gained a few customers, that profit was then the money that I could live off of. And it's not. It is the money that you then need to invest back into your business. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs make this mistake of taking that income that they make and then attempting to live off of it. And y'all get mad when I say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is why I tell a lot of you all to not quit your jobs so fast. And I know it gets to the point where you know that you're supposed to do something else. I can say everything that I'm going to hear. I'll say you're called to do something more. God has bigger for you, right? You're in a stressful environment. I hear all those things, and I respect that. And I understand you, and I support your feelings and your emotions and your frustration and the stress that it may be causing so many of you all. But here's the but, best friends. But you are going to need income to fund your business. And best friends, when I tell you I had to learn that the hard way, oh boy, I had to learn that the hard way. I had to really realize that the profit was not profit at that time. I needed some additional resources to be able to fund this business, okay? I needed to cover my email expenses, all right? I needed to cover supplies, shipping, fulfillment, these subscriptions, website, hosting. I was just like, wow, like every time I turned around, it was another bill. And so many of us are being told online to just fire our bosses, quit our jobs, and never look back. And it just does not work like that in real life, because we need the income to be able to grow the business. And when I realized that, it really tore me up in the inside, because I needed that job for a while. You know, I got to a point where I was making 5 figures a month in my business, and I was still a little skeptical about leaving my job, okay? I was still a little skeptical. So think about that before you all leave, all right? And I wanna add about 2 more things, you know, that I've learned over this time, is that you have to take the time to nurture relationships in business. One of the biggest mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make is social climbing. And what does that look like? It looks like them attempting to sell their stuff, to throw their offer out there, and they're trying to get in any room that they can get in to do that. They're trying to connect with any person that they can connect with to do that. They're trying to rub shoulders with a person who looks more promising to do that. And they don't take the time to build relationships. They don't take the time to truly get to know people. They don't take the time to create any type of synergy. Their main focus is 110% landing a sale, signing a deal, creating a partnership, and going on with who can do the next thing for them that can help them go to the next level. We do not value relationships enough. I want to say this. Please start to take the time and value relationships that you have. Check on people versus commenting on social media. Pick up the phone and call them and see how they're doing. Don't meet someone on Tuesday and ask them for a favor on Wednesday, okay? Meet someone on Tuesday and ask them what you can do for them on Wednesday, right? One of the mistakes that I've seen happen is the ask comes before there has even been any value added. How can you make an investment into someone else's life? That should be the question. So learn to value the relationships. Figure out when people's birthdays are. Figure out when people are getting people's anniversaries were. Send gift cards, anniversary cards, thank you cards, Christmas cards. The list goes on and on and on. Birthday cards. This is how you build relationships over time. Many of you all jump straight into the sale. You're trying to sell. That is the focus, right? And this is a big mistake. People can tell when your only focus is selling. They can feel it. You ever feel someone trying to sell to you Yeah, you ever hear those? You ever go on a vacation and you go to pick up your bracelets and they pull you into that room and they want you to get the timeshare and they tell you if you like sit there, you know, they'll give you the timeshare and you're like, oh no, this is not happening, right? People can feel it. If your intentions are not pure, they're going to be closed off. They're not going to connect with you. They're not going to take to you. Your energy is going to be felt. And then what will happen is you'll go from room to room, group to group, circle to circle, network to network. And then people will start to see that you're moving all around. When what you should do is to just build solid relationships and focus on growing your business or your brand or whatever it is that you have. All right? The last and final thing that I wish I would have known 12 years ago. All right? I wish that I would have known. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We're going to do more of these. Don't worry. I wish back in that time that I would have known that stuff did matter. And that the most successful person and the most wealthiest person is the person who learns to live without the need of stuff and things. The person who has mastered the thought in their mind that it does not even exist. I remember making my first $1 million in business and going to buy all this stuff, purses and shoes and bull crap. And I look back at that stuff now and I'm like, I wouldn't even wear it. That's the first thing. You spend all this money on this junk that meant nothing, right? What if you would have put that into Apple stock 6 or 7 years ago? Because I had an iPhone 6 years ago, okay? What if you would have put that in Amazon stock? What if you would have invested in that? I feel like when we initially experience success, we're so anxious to show people that we're successful. And the only way that we know to do that is by going to buy expensive stuff. And a lot of times that stuff holds no value. I wish I would not have just splurged the way that I splurge, because tax time came around and I barely, my first year making $1 million, I didn't even have the money to like almost pay my taxes. Thank God I had it, but it was really close. And it was because I did not understand, right? That the stuff that I was buying, instead of buying the stuff, I should have bought stocks in the stuff that I was buying. All right? This was a game changer for me. Instead of buying the stuff, buy stocks in the stuff that you're buying. Okay? All right? All right, you all. I hope you enjoyed this chat. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you all click subscribe. Be sure to share this with a friend. And we're going to do some more of these really soon. Have a good day. Bye.